right, hello everybody. Sorry I got on a little late tonight, but we're going to do a Tuesday night rant for a little bit because I'm preparing for tomorrow night. I got a little surprise for you tonight, so hopefully some of y'all will sign in and log in tonight.
Oh, and I didn't realize this was going to be in the camera. Oh, well.
Yeah.
You're okay with that being in the camera?
Can it move over a little bit?
It can.
Okay, so let me get these. So we're going to have a little fun tonight. I'm going to get some of y'all to log on.
What you can see on it now. I moved it over.
So always remember to subscribe and to YouTube, and if you follow me there, to like and share on Facebook, and definitely, share with your friends and get them on, because I'm definitely finishing up the tarot class tomorrow night. If you're watching, please say hello. Let me know you're here. We're going to do a little experiment tonight once I get a few people online, so we can be prepared for tomorrow night's final tarot class. So as you see, I got some cards in my hand.
Okay. You good?
So yep, I'm good. Thank you. All right, 3 people watching. Say hello, folks. And by tomorrow night, I'll be able to see the TikTok comments as well. So just a little, hey, Debbie, glad you could join us. So glad you're here. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. So getting ready for tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we'll be going over the final, which is the Wands of Tarot, and then we're going to be doing some lays. So I'm going to show you my traditional card lay, and ooh, look at that. I don't know who I'm reading right now, but I didn't break the last reading, so no telling who this is for. But we're just going to show you a little bit. So I'm just trying to measure out and see if I have enough room here for tomorrow night. So we're going to have some fun tonight. So I'm glad you guys all could join me. And I'm going to show you how I normally lay cards out. So we're going to be doing a little bit of reading tonight, maybe. So, so let me see. So let me go here, and we're just going to try this out. Now we're going to go to table view, and look at that. Okay. So let's see now. So let's make some more room here. Let's make it so it fits good. I'm just trying to get my footing here so that everybody can see a good card lay. So I got to come way over here with it. Okay. And here. And here. And then here. Here. Got to come way over there. So tomorrow night we're going to be doing, after we do the suits, I'm trying to pull these in. Let's pull this in a little closer. This is actually supposed to be 4 piles straight up, but I don't have room to do 4 piles straight up so you can see everything. Do this and this. Trying to get everything in the picture frame so that y'all can see everything. But so this is the Celtic cross. There's 2 cards in the center. There's 4 cards around, then 4 straight up. But I got 2 side by side because I can't get it all the way up so you guys can see it there all the way together. So tomorrow night when we're doing card lays, I'm going to go over a few different ones for you guys. And so this is one of them. So reading this, we have the 2 of Cups crossed by death, which means a change in a relationship. So just tomorrow when we're going to go through all this, I'm just going to point out some different things. So I'm going to read it like a story to you. And we're going to start with 1 card, then we'll go to 2, then we'll advance to 3. And I'm just going to give you some examples of just different storylines you can go through. I also see, as I'm reading across this relationship is getting changed because of family issues. There's some overshadowing of some family issues that there's some judgment going on in the family about this relationship that's happening. Even though this couple is meant to be together, there's some poor judgments going on there. And it has to do with value or income. And I'm getting all that right up in here. And so that's something I'd want to talk to my sitter about as I'm discussing this particular card set. Now, one thing that is option for this couple, if they can have an option, they can stay here and fight and argue with this family, or they can maybe take a journey and or a trip. So, or move away from the family. That's where their relationship would do the best if they made that choice. That's how things could pick up. Now, if they wanted to stay and work on their self and their family, it would take some time, but there would be a chance later on that there would be some more acceptance. I do think the female in this relationship was probably who I'm reading right now because of what I'm seeing here in this pile down here, which is always related to your sitter. So again, tomorrow night we'll be going over a lot of these things. So we're going to be closing out the tarot class. I'm going to be reading the last suit and going over some lays and then going over with how I read when I read the Celtic Cross, and then how it gets more futuristic. And I also look for parallels this way, this way, this way, and I read this way as well. So when I'm telling my story, when I'm reading, that's how I do it. I'm gonna go over this again tomorrow. I just want to make sure the camera, I had to be able to see what can the camera pick up, and you know, and see, you know, what happens. So when I do readings online, this is, you know, how I do this. Hey Tina. So, and some of you have had readings by me, so y'all seen me do this lay before, but tomorrow night we're going to do some after the class is, you know, after we go through the wands and we go through some lays, I'm going to actually do a couple of card lays like this to show you, and I'm going to show you some other different designs as well. Magni has, hey Tamara, Magni has completed catching up all the individual classes. He's gone through all of the courses. Hey, how you doing, Tessie? He has gone through all the courses that we've done, that I've taught, you know, online. He's taken all the talking in between everything and made it just all the filler. And he's put the classes in separate videos, and all he has to do is take tomorrow night's class and take the filler out and put it, and then we're going to put them all into a folder. So the class itself will be in a folder. And so that way you can go back and reference it, and you can go through the cards again, and just to get comfortable learning them. I'm then going to we're going to do a couple of weeks of just different topics, and then we're going to go over this deck. It's right here. We're going to be going through this deck, symbology, which is another way of it's another way of practicing your psychic skills, and it's a deck that Magni and I created. And then you can also do a reading with these, so we're going to go through those, and I'm going to teach you some ways. Now, there's already a YouTube out on symbology, so there's already a YouTube video out on that, but I'm going to give you some more, and I'm going to make sure that YouTube is linked into my TE page as well, because I don't think it is right now, if I'm not mistaken. Because we have a YouTube on the symbology deck, but we need to get that.
Yeah, I'm not sure which account that's on.
But we need to get it linked in.
Yeah, I'm not sure which
we have
account.
to go look and link that in as well. So that way you can learn some different things you can practice with those of you who have symbology cards. Because we've sold quite a few hundreds of those. Because all my mediumship students usually get those as well. They've taken mediumship with me. So again, you know, we will have videos on how to use those and how you can use those also for divination as well.
To be ready for tomorrow, would you prefer having that screen removed so you have some more space and we can zoom out a little bit more on the phone?
Yes. That would probably be
You
best.
want me to try to do that so you can see how it works?
That would be great.
Okay,
if you can do that. We can just actually put that on the floor because we're not using that television actually. I have double TV set up here. But no, I can't. Because I have the PowerPoint going on there tomorrow.
Oh, you have a PowerPoint tomorrow as well?
Uh-huh. You know what though? Can we move it on can we just move it onto that table right there?
Sure.
So that way, as long as I can see it, we're fine. They don't see that. I see that. Just move that table over here to the side.
Right.
We're trying to organize everything for tomorrow night because it's going to be
a lot going on.
A lot going on. Like I said, I got several camera angles, and so that we can, and then we get to see right now if I can get, maybe I'll do a tarot reading for somebody in the audience tonight while y'all here. I'll do a mini reading for you guys. So we can practice. Yeah, let's move this over here. And let's see if I can.
I need a longer cord.
It won't reach? Or just replug it.
Yeah,
There's a plug right there.
No, it's the HDMI cord.
Oh.
We have longer HDMI cords. I just need to grab a different one.
Well, I don't need it tonight. You can change it in the morning. So you just move that there. That's fine.
And you can see
Yeah,
it there?
I can see it because I don't really need. Because I read it from there though.
Right.
I'll have to have Alicia look to the camera, and I can just read it from here.
Do we have anything where I can
Hang it.
set it behind? Do we have like a tall dresser or something that we can put it on?
You can
behind?
put this, but then the camera won't be able to catch that. I say just leave it like that. We'll make do.
Okay. All right.
Because
Now let me change.
Now let's see if I can get a good lay of these cards. So I want people to be able to really see the cards because I want them to learn as I'm reading. So I want to make sure they can really see it. Like I would like.
Now that's a different camera view that shows more.
Yeah, but just I'm cutting out. Can they see this? Because I can see me, but they can see this, right?
We can move. No, this is what they see.
No, but they don't see me. Oh, they see me in the corner like that?
Yeah, but I can move you. Oh, no, not that one. This needs to stay there.
Because I want to be able to do...
Would you rather have you in this corner?
I want to be able...
Bottom corner or up here?
Up there is fine.
Okay.
Up there is fine. This is the hard thing is the 4 up. Because it gets kind of high. You know? Just trying to do it so that you can see it all. Let me lay it out and then you can move the camera. Because this actually needs to go here.
Right.
Because it needs to be lined up here. Here. Then these kind of go here and here, here, and then here. Can you see it now? Can you see it all?
I can adjust this a little bit more.
Okay. That's good.
And they can see our mouse pad over there.
I don't care if they see the mouse pad. It's my Ouija board mouse pad. I think it's cool. Hey, Gina. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Jamie. So tomorrow night, this is going to be the setup. And when I lay out the cards, y'all going to be able to see. They don't see the red line, though, correct?
No.
They just said they can see the. Okay.
That's just have some.
Okay, that's just
No,
us.
there we go.
Okay, perfect.
That is what they will see.
Perfect. So this way they can kind of see the cards as I'm reading them. Hey, how you doing, Alyssa? So okay, very good, Gina. So tomorrow night, I'm setting this up so that tomorrow night when we finish the wands, I'm going to go into showing you different lays, and I want you to be able to see the cards because then I'm going to show you the patterns and the style of reading. So when I tell you about telling the story, you can see the story. You can see how I'm reading it. You can see how it flows. You can watch because I'm going to read each pile and I'm going to show you how I'm getting what I'm getting. And then I'm going to show you how it flows. I'm going to tell the story of a sitter. And I'm going to show you how the story flows and why I'm going. And I'm going to tell you what I would say and what I would do. And I'm trying so that you will understand. And that way, when you're practicing at home, you can. Now, this is a very complicated lay because it's the Celtic cross that is done in threes. And this is how I read because it tells a bigger story. But when you first start out, you're only going to do the first card. All the other, so you see, it tells a much less story because this is the actual Celtic cross. So when you first start out, you're just doing that. You're just doing that. And that's how a lot of people read. They just do the base. That's the basic Celtic cross. But then I lay on all the other piles, but the first two, I lay 3 because it tells more of a story. It gives me more information. You know, it tells me direction. It tells me so much more when I do that. So I'm just giving you some things. So after this course and after we do symbology, I'm going to do one intuitive tarot course that we're going to work together on. And I'm going to pair you guys. I'm going to try to see if I can do it online where I can pair you, and I can do it on Google Meets where I can pair y'all off into rooms where y'all can work together. Like, so I will teach intuitive tarot online or in person. You can come in person or you can be online. If you're online, I'm going to pair you off online. If we have one odd person, I will have you sit online with somebody who's in person, or I'll set you with a group of 2. It'll be 3 of y'all, and y'all are going to read for each other. But we're going to have a class, and I'm going to teach you how to read intuitively. So this is what I call the physical. Like, you're learning every meaning, everything, all the colors, all the numerology, all the symbology. You're learning the astrology, all that kind of stuff about the card. So you're learning physicality. Intuitive tarot, you're just going with what you feel, what you're picking up intuitively, what you're picking up with your senses, and what you're feeling inside the card, and you're telling your story. So I'm going to do an intuitive tarot. Then once we've done those 2, we're going to do some practice sessions, and then I'm going to teach a master class. And that will be online and in person. So you can do either or. You can either come in or you come to the class, or if you're online, but the class will be live and in person at the same time. So, but if you're online, when it comes practice time, you'll be paired up with other people online. Or if there is an odd number, I will either put you in a group of 3 with someone, or you will be with a person that's here in class that's an odd number here. So it depends on how the class ventures up. But I will have it both online and in person. Because what I would like is I want to have some more tarot readers in the New Orleans area that truly understand how to read the tarot, that truly, they're not just reading meanings, but they also are picking up the sensation, the feeling. They're blending their energy with the sitter and what they're picking up in the cards, and they're able to tell the story, not just read the meanings from a book. Because a good reader doesn't just read the meanings. They know the meaning, but they're blending it with what they're getting from the sitter and what they're feeling or what they're sensing. That's the best type of tarot reading, because there's several different types of tarot readers. There are the ones who are basically life coaches, and they say you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. There are the scammers, the ones who tell you, you know, give me $50, I'm going to read this curse from you, or give me some money, I'm going to wash your money. Or those, you get up, you walk out, you don't pay them, you report them to the police, and you move on. And then you have the ones who are truly intuitive, and they really get in there, and they're a combination of the life coach, but they're also very intuitive, so they can also see the things that are happening, and they help coach you into a good tarot reader. A really good tarot reader can see what's coming your way, and if there's something negative, they can help you avoid it. They can help you lighten the blow. And so when I have people come to me and say things like, oh, I'm afraid of getting my card because I don't want to know if something bad's going to happen, my initial response to them is, wouldn't you want to know if something bad's happened so you can try to prepare for it so it's not so bad, or that you can avoid it completely? So an example, if I said that I saw you getting in a car accident on the corner of Clearview and Veterans at 3 o'clock on Sunday, just don't go to Clearview and Veterans on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Avoid it. You know what I mean? Avoid it, So that's the best way I can tell people. If I tell you I see a spot on your lung, I think you should go see the doctor this week and have that checked out. Well, it's better that I told you about that today than you to wait a year till you can't breathe and then you go. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're able to treat it and get medicine for it way early, and you're going to probably be able to beat it, you know? So I always tell people it doesn't hurt. But again, it's the delivery. It's the delivery. It is the delivery of this of the reader that's so important, because I've had crazy readers tell people stuff like, "Oh God, I see you in an accident. You're gonna lose your arm." Well, why would you say that? Because if you're a good reader, you're gonna be able to tell them how to avoid that. If you're really a good reader, you're gonna be able to see how to avoid that. Because your intuition will show you things that are in the air, but you should be able to see enough to help them avoid it. Now, sometimes people just love misery. Okay, so I'm going to say that too. Sometimes people just love misery. Hey, Dina, I love you, girl. Sometimes people just love misery. So sometimes people will just go do stuff just to create misery. Then you can't, there's nothing you can do about that. I'll give you an example. I was reading these two people. I'm going to try to limit the story to protect their innocence. So I was reading these two people for quite some time. They were two people who were going to college. It was two girls, and they were in college, and I read them religiously, like all the time. We'd help them through school, help them find their boyfriends, help them throughout their dating lives. I mean, everything, like dead on, everything. And they were best friends. They went to college, and one of them used to go do internships every summer. Well, it was their senior year. They were graduating stuff, and they were dating. And one of them came to me right before she was getting ready to go do her internship, and she says, "I kind of want to go hang out with my boyfriend, but then I really need to go do this internship. What should I do?" And I said, "Well," I looked at her cards and I said, "I'm telling you, hang out with your boyfriend. Don't go. Don't go on the internship." And she saw a funny look on my face, and she says to me, "Why? You've been reading me a long time. I know you know why shouldn't I go?" And I said, "No." I said, "Just hang out. Hang out hang out with your guy. Y'all doing really well. I kind of think he's gonna ask you to marry him soon. You really need to hang out with him. And she's like, "No, no, no. Tell me why you don't want me to go do my internship." And I said, "Okay." I said, I see you getting raped, and so I really just don't want you to go. I need you to avoid it." So didn't hear from her. Thought her and the guy spent a wonderful summer together. She comes back. She came back to see me, like in August. She scheduled an appointment, and I thought, she graduated, moved on. So I'm like, "What? She's back in August for?" So she come back to see me in August, and when she came, she was by herself. She wasn't with her friend this time. She goes, "Oh, I want you to know that this is going to be my last appointment." So I'm thinking she's either joking with me, or maybe she's moving because she's done. And she said, "No, I'm serious. This is my last appointment." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "I went to New York and I was raped, and it's your fault." And I looked at her like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, it's your fault. You put that in the universe." And so she went on her internship, and I told you what city it was. I didn't want to do that. But anyway, she went on her internship and she got raped, and she blamed me for it. And I was very hurt by that. And I said, "But I told you not to go." She said, "No, you put it into the universe, and that's why it happened to me." And so after that, I never heard from her again. So I lost a friend and a client behind that. So I always tell you, always try to give a solution. Be very careful when you do your readings. Be very careful how you say things to people. And you can't make people do things. You can't, you have to be very careful. So I try to be I am very positive in my delivery. If I see something bad, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to try to help you fix it. You know, and bad things happen to people all the time. Bad things happen to me. Bad things happen to everyone. You know, I mean, yeah, well, it's a lot of difficult things happen in this industry. I was once reading another lady. And I'm going to try to be careful again, but while I'm reading her, I just looked over and I said, "Now hand me the gun that's in your purse." And she pulled out a pistol and put it in my hand. So tag, I'm it. She was going to kill herself right when I finished reading her. And so then I had to cancel all my clients, the rest of my clients that day, and I had to sit there and wait for her family to come home and to take care of her because she was very depressed. So again, when you become a reader, there's a very huge responsibility, and that you have to understand. This isn't a game. This isn't for fun. There is a responsibility that comes along with being a reader. And everybody's like, "Well, I just want to help people. I just want to make people's lives better." Yeah, it's true that that is a wonderful thing, but it comes with a cost. It comes with a price, and people have to understand that it's not all fun and games, and there will be times that you're going to be challenged with situations and with things, and you have to be prepared for it. I keep a list of references. Miss Dina Lally is one of my references I keep in my phone. you know and she is one of my references. I used her. I gave out some information she gave me just a couple of weeks ago to a client that we had to deal with. So you know um, so you have to have references. You have to have uh, ways to help people. You have to have things because you're dealing with people's lives. Thank you, Cindy. You are dealing with people's lives. And although you want to help, you don't know, sometimes you may be one step away from that person harming themselves or harming somebody else. I mean, I can tell you another case that I had. And I guess I just gotta watch how I say these things. I don't want to. I gotta say them in a generic fashion. I read someone, and as I'm reading this person, they're telling me they're possessed. They're telling me that they are waking up and they're finding themselves in another room of the house with a gun on their hands to their head, and they're trembling, and the demon's saying for them to shoot themselves, and all this stuff is going on, and they're having blackout moments, and then they're waking up and they don't know what happened. They're losing spans of time and all this stuff, and and asking me what they can do, and all this is going on, and and then and then a week later, I'm reading the stepdaughter who comes in and then tells me this person's raping her. So what you put together is that this person was coming up with a way, because the daughter was now about to tell on him, and so was trying to come up with a way to have a defense of getting out of it. But I have to counsel both of them. I had to counsel him, and I had to counsel her. So you're going to have situations like that. So those things do happen. If you want to learn more about tarot, so Gina, what's really cool is, like I'm telling you, on my YouTube channel, all these videos are saved. Magni has taken the fluff out and just put the classes that I've been doing all on little separate videos. And after tomorrow, he's just got to put that one in, and then we're going to create a folder, and that's going to be Tarot: The Whole Story. And that's going to be in a folder, and all the classes are there, and they're all live and they're all free. They're free to you. And then I'm going to be doing a live intuitive tarot. I don't know if I'm doing that one free. I usually charge for them. It's like $50 and it's like 3 hours long. I don't know if I'm going to do that one free. I usually charge for that one, but I'm going to be doing a master class. I'm going to let all that sink in. And then sometime before the end of this year, I'm going to be doing a master class. That one will cost, but I'm trying to create more readers. The master class is where I'm going to be teaching all about the connection. This is about learning the cards and learning the meanings and getting the feel of everything. The master class is about learning the connection and getting the vibe. That's what the master class is about. So that's good. That's going to be the biggie. So that's what I'm preparing everybody for. I used to teach this class every year. This one that's free, It was a 7-week class. It was once a week for 7 weeks because it's a drainer because it's long, because it covers the symbology, the colors. And I'll show you the course book. I have it here somewhere. Did Magni move it? Of course he did. It's over here. You go get it. So this is the course book for it. It's called Tarot. It said the whole story. When you take the masterclass, you will get a copy. Not that you won't get the hardcover copy, but I will give you the download of this book, and it's pretty much everything that we've learned. And I will also, well, you will always be able to go to YouTube and get all the videos. You'll get the videos, and you'll still have the PowerPoint, access to all the PowerPoints from YouTube, so you can follow along, and you'll have the book and that kind of stuff. So I will give you all those things too when you take the master class as well, just so you could just keep that and keep going and rolling. Because I really want some good readers. I want some quality readers that understand connection, that understand to trust what they see and be able to deliver a good positive message, to be able to deliver good positive findings in their readings. So now that I've taken away, I'm going to show you the difference. Y'all heard me talk a little bit about the 3 cards. Now let's take it down to 1 cards. So I'm just going to show you the difference in how much more you got with the 3 cards. So basically now when I look at this, I'm looking at the change of a relationship, and it started with heartache, and it started with pain in the family because it's the 3 of Swords, and it was due to a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work had to go into this relationship, and the change is coming, but it's going to take a lot of work for it to succeed. Wheel of Fortune for me is always good. The sitter is definitely going to learn something. This is all about learning. It's all about trying to bring family together. There are some communications coming because the Knight of Cups is always about communication. Or if it's not about a person, it's about communication because of the wings of Hermes. Also, I do feel that I do think that this person that the person that I'm reading, I think there's something about the cup as being a person as well, because I think it's about building this relationship. I think this person's downfall was his father. If I'm reading a female, I'm going to say to her, I think that the guy you're with, the downfall was the father. There's something going on with the father. I think this boy's coming out of an abusive relation that he was learning to recover from, and I think that he's going to recover from it. I see positivity there because of the upside down king there. Okay, because remember the king, that's the king of emotions, and the king is upside down. So that's the angle I'm going to go with. But if I start laying all these on, it changes the whole story. See? So that's why I read 3 cards, because it gives me more of a detailed story. It gives me more to look at. It gives me more things to sense, more things to feel. It feeds the story of the sitter. It feeds the story. Now, one thing also that I am going to teach tomorrow night, again, because tomorrow night is the main night, is how to start and how to finish a reading. I start my reading, I finish my reading and start my reading in the exact same way. And I don't know, some of you have got many readings from me, but a lot of people don't realize it because I kind of do it very nonchalantly. Sometimes I'll bring it up, but I do start my readings and end my readings the same way. And I was taught this, and I kind of didn't understand why. And then one day I was watching this old detective movie from Spain, and they had a reader in one of them, in one of the series. It was like a series, and once they had a reader, and she did the same thing. And I was like, damn. No, it wasn't Spain, it was Italian. And I was like, damn. They did exactly what I do. So basically what you do, before I read anybody, the first thing I do is I shuffle a little bit, and then I take my right hand, and I take my energy, and I put it there, and I make 3 piles with my left hand. And then I take the top card and I turn it 180 degrees, and I kind of look at it and I turn it. And I turn it like that. And that's how I break the last reading. Whenever I read somebody new, I start that out every time. Now, when I turn that, I also look at them. So I looked at these. So let's look at them. Because usually when I do that, it kind of tells me where I'm going to go with this next reading. And I can already tell you, I'm going to talk about somebody's ex trying to get back with them. And if they do, they're going to be a fool about it. Because this is the lovers, unwanted visitors, the fool. The fool. So that's probably what this is. We're going to talk about somebody's ex trying to get back with them. Okay. But anyway. So I already know that going in. So I do that and I mix it up a little bit. And then I'll shuffle a little bit. And if it's the first time I'm reading with you, I want to see where your head's at, right? So I'll shuffle a little bit and I'll do like this and I'll say to you, I want you to shuffle these as much as you want, but when you finish, I want you to set them down just like that. And I lay them like this because the way you hand them to me determines which cards are going to be straight up and which cards are going to be upside down. So I always say that the first time, well, at least the first, or a couple of times I say, put them down just like this. Because I want to see if you listen to me, because a lot of people will do this or do that. And it depends how I grab them is going to determine whether they're going to be straight up or upside down. Because, right, there's reverse meanings. But though I only read reverse as if I really feel it. But I want to check and see how nervous is the person that I'm reading. That's one way I can tell. By when I say, when you finish shuffling, set them down just like this. I want to see if they're listening to me. How well is the sitter really listening to me? Right? That's one way I check them. I put them in check, especially if it's their first time. Hey, Mary. I talked to you earlier today. So that's one way that I put them in check. This is for me to know, are they really listening to what I'm saying, or how nervous are they? Hey, Stacy, well, how much do I need to keep them calm? You know, like, do I need to like try to get them to breathe a little bit before I get started? But it kind of helps me see how nervous they are, because if they're real nervous, I'm gonna have a hard time tapping into them, because I'm gonna have a hard time blending my energy with them if they're all tense or nervous, and we get them because a lot of times they're scared to come their first time. So that's why I shuffle them, and then I say, when y'all finish shuffling them, set them just like that. I want to see how much they're listening. So I want them to set them straight up. So when I pick them up, I know that if I start flipping, that's supposed to be straight up. You know, and then that's supposed to be straight up. That's supposed to be upside down. I know that. So I will do that. And then when it's over, when I'm finished reading, the last time I hand it to them to shuffle, and I usually have them shuffle like four, like I usually do 3 lays, and then before I finish, after the 3 lays of cards, when I read 3 different crosses, the last thing I do is I have them shuffle one last time, and I tell the sitter, now you make 3 piles with your left hand, and then they'll make 3 piles with their left hand. They don't put the energy in like I do, but they'll do 1, 2, 3, and then I give them 3 questions, and then they can ask me any questions, and it needs to have a positive or negative influence. And then after they do that, I tell them, they'll ask me a question. They'll say like, am I going to meet the man of my dreams in the next 8 months? That's usually a very popular question. And I'll say, pick a pile. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And they'll say pile 3. So I'll pick pile 3 up, and then I'll turn over cards. Now, what I'm doing is, if a card is a positive card and it's in a positive position, meaning straight up, it's a yes. If it's a positive card that's upside down, it's a no. If it's a negative card and it's straight up, it's negative. If it's a negative card that's upside down, it's a yes. So if it's negative, you get the picture. So watch me do it. Are they going to meet a man in 9 months? Negative card straight up, no. Positive card upside down, no. Positive card upside down, again, no. This isn't looking good for my sitter. They're going to be lonely for a while. Next card is another positive card upside down. So I already know it's no, but we're going to see, because sometimes it'll be able to tell me why. So I want to finish laying. You lay 7 cards out. Next card, positive card, the lovers. That's actually a good card in this question, and it's positive. Next card is a negative card, no. Positive card upside down, no. And a positive card straight up is a yes. So there's 5 no's, 2 yeses. So the answer is no, you're not. But what I will say to them is, so the answer is no, you won't meet him in 9 months. Do I think you're going to find love? Yes, because you got the lover straight up, and it'll be somebody completely new. But there's some bullshit you got to go through first. One is you got to break up that piece of crap that you're seeing, who's seeing somebody else already, and they won't cut them loose. That's what that knife is about right there, because they already got somebody else, and you won't let them go. So first you got to get rid of playing that stuff before the new one comes in. So sometimes this pile over here will tell you what's going on, why this won't happen. So that's question 1. Then I'll say, what's the next question? And this, believe it or not, this part takes longer than most, because most of the times during the 3 the 3 Celtic crosses, I'll answer almost every question they have. So during that time, if that happens, you can tell them. So I don't do video. I do video. Oh yeah, video call. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do video calls. It's just as accurate. Alicia, I can do it over the computer like this without even seeing you. Just the fact that you're communicating with me. So I mean, it's all about the communication. On some nights I even do mediumship on here without even seeing you. Some of these people have seen that already, so I could even connect to your dead people. As long as you're connecting to me some kind of way, I can usually connect to you, and anybody can do that. I mean, it's not special. The next question might be, am I going to change jobs before the end of the year? And I'll say pick pile. I'll mix the cards up here. Pick pile 1 or pile 2, and they might say pile 2. So let's see. That's a negative. Straight up, that's a no. That's another no. That's a yes. That's a no. That's a no. That's a yes. And that's a no. So once again, this has got a lot of no's. This has got 5 no's and 2 yeses. Whew, so basically what's going to happen, this person is going to probably lose a job first. They're not going to change it. They're going to lose a job. They're going to go through a big change, but they're going to make more money. They got a new offer coming that they're going to take, and they need to take it. If not, they're going to lose their job and be forced to take something, is what I see. And it's going to probably happen about a year later, is what it's looking like to me. Because you got the Tower of Destruction and you got the Thief. So somebody's taking the job is what it looks like. But change is coming and new money's coming. So I think they'll make more money if they can make the change. It's all about making the change. And it's because of there's some kind of business relation that's happening that's creating this person taking their job from them. So if they can go ahead and get that application out right now and start pumping that pumping that resume out, I think they'll find something better, and that'll create a better change for them. So that's what I would recommend them to do. That's how I would counsel them. To look at what's going on and try to counsel them in a more positive direction. Well, so you have to call, see Stacy up there, Stacy Strata Taylor. She is my scheduler. So yes, we can. I mean, I see clients all the time. She has my schedule. She books people for me. Stacy is my girl Friday. She books all my appointments for me. So yes, we can schedule one. You can book a 30-minute regular tarot, or if you want something more in depth, we get a little bit of everything. That's called a combo. You can do those too. The combos, what most people do get. It just depends. You go to my website, and I have a video that tells you about all the different readings I do. You can watch a video by each thing. It kind of explains what I do and how I do it. And then if it's a 30-minute reading, a 30-minute tarot, I usually only have time to do like 2 questions. I usually do 2. If I have time, I'll do 3 lays. And you'll get maybe 2 questions. It just depends on time because it's a 30-minute. I usually don't have time to do all 3. Oh, okay. You mean on the I plan to come see you soon on your own in person, but So you mean the anybody can come to the I'm talking about the mediumship on here. So on those, anybody can come to those. That's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But I don't always do mediumship. But when I do, it's whoever. I mean, whoever takes it. I mean, I just give the information. Whoever takes it, I give them. I keep giving more information and more information. So everybody's welcome to that. This week I won't be doing it because I'm finishing up the tarot this week. But the next 2 weeks I might be doing it after this week, because this week I got to finish up tarot because tarot's been long. It's been a lot of weeks. I'm finishing it up this week, so that's going to take up probably all the time. And so the last question might be something like, is my divorce going to be finished in 6 months? Because I get that one a lot too. Again, we have a positive upside down, no. Another positive upside down, no. A yes, straight up. Another yes, straight up. Another yes, straight up. A no, a negative, straight up, no. Positive, yes. So it's a yes. Yes, it will, but they're going to try to stab you in the back. They definitely going for the money, and they want the kids. So I'm letting you know. That's the mother card. The mother card, that is the money, and that's stabbing in the back. Fight for the business. Get your future straight. Fight for the business. You got all. So fight for the bit. Go for the business. That's what I'm telling you. And you're going to have to fight for the other stuff, but the business as well. The money is. That's where you need to go for. If I was going to read this person, that's what I would tell her, because you got 4 straight up wands, which is what we're going to be reading tomorrow night. So, and then once I do that, the reading's done, and then I usually will take my trusty rock, put it on top of my deck like that, and I'm done to the next session. So that's pretty much like how I flow with tarot, all my combos. You know, you can learn all the meanings and stuff, but again, when we get into intuitive, like I like intuitive tarot better than this long tarot that I've been teaching you guys, just because intuitively is where you really want to pull from the most, because you're going to when you're reading, you're going to focus on the pieces of the cards as you're reading. You're going to be drawn to be pulled to pieces of the cards that's going to tell you a story. And that's what you're going to go with, and you're just going to let it flow. That's why I keep telling people reading children's books is real important. Like if you have grandkids, or if you have nieces and nephews that are young, buy those little cheap, those little cheap kid books that are 6 to 10 pages long with the big words in print, and just read those, or read nursery rhymes. Read those things. Get in the habit of flowing, flowing with your story, because that's where that will train not only your verbiage, but it trains your mind and your senses to flow. And that's what you want. Even in your mediumship, you want your story to flow. You have to keep your audience engaged. You have to keep everybody interested in your show. Like when we do big shows, I mean, sometimes I'm entertaining as many as, I think the biggest show we had was like 210 people. So when you have 210 people, you got to keep interacting, and so they're not sleeping or talking or doing those things. You have to keep the energy moving, and you have to keep everyone going. So you have to keep things flowing. You have to keep things moving. And so you have to be able to read your audience, not just one person. You have to be able to read the whole audience. Okay, and so you have to know when you have to elevate your voice. You have to know when you can bring it back. You have to know when you have to laugh. You have to, you have to let your senses guide you. And so a couple of pointers I can give you. Before you start, you should always take it. It doesn't have to be a long time. I know many of you who've come to Touch in Eternity, and y'all sat in the power, or you've learned to, you've worked with Scott Milligan, and or maybe worked with some of the people from England, and have you sitting in the power for long periods of time. And it's that is excellent training. I will never say anything wrong, because it is definitely a needed and not used enough thing to do, as what we call sitting in the power. But if you don't have the time, because you're about to have to go up and work, or you have to go up and read or do something, take a few moments and just breathe and bring your consciousness down. Try to bring it down to a level of where you're at peace within your soul, where you're at peace within your mind, and let your body flow so that your senses are intact. And doing that will help you with your connection. It will help you with seeing things and sensing things. That is true, Tina. That is true. Because I have people tell me all the time, well, you've answered all my questions. You answered almost all my questions, or you touch base on, but then I'll say to them, so I get that a lot. Like they'll tell me, you've answered all my questions. I say, yeah, but ask me something more specific, specific about it. It's like if I told you about the guy you're going to meet, ask me something specific about it. You can ask the universe something very specific about it. If I answered something about your health, ask me something specific about your health. So like if I told you that I see that your health is going to be fine, that I see your strength improving, but you have an autoimmune disease, ask, is the new medication you on going to be effective? Name the medication. That's a specific question. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, when they get read, they're so overwhelmed by the reading they can't think of those things. And as a reader, I'm not allowed to tell you or guide you because then it's not appropriate. I can kind of hint a little, but I really can't tell you what to ask me because then that's me putting thoughts in your head. So I don't like to do that. I will try to guide you the best I can. Yeah. So yeah, So right, specifics are the things. Like even if I answer your question during the reading, ask something like if I tell you you're going to meet a man, ask me what he does for a living. Say, does he do this for a living? Then that's a yes or a no. You see what I'm saying? Ask, am I going to meet him at my work, or am I going to meet him like if you go to say you have a child that plays baseball, am I going to meet him at my child's baseball game? And if I tell you no, you know to stop taking your kid to baseball. I'm just kidding. No, but so be more specific. And that's the hard. That's why those three questions take up the longest time of reading. So I usually like to be finished doing if somebody's got booked in an hour with me, I like to take the last 15 minutes to do the three questions because they easily take 15 minutes. And a lot of times we'll go over with them. And so, and it's because people have a lot of people have a hard time thinking about something very specific. Because I do answer a lot in an hour reading. In a half hour reading, not so much, but in an hour reading, I answer a lot. Um, and if you're doing a combo, I mean, I'm not only doing a reading, I'm doing your numerology. Also connecting. I'm connecting without the cards. I'm sitting there just telling you the pictures that are dropping in my head. Somebody here has those old time um, oval pictures of like their grandparents or their parents in their home. The oval ones, black, like they're not really black, or they kind of almost look like a negative a little bit. Somebody in this group has them because I can see it. Every time I shut my eyes, I keep seeing those damn old time photos, like with the oval. Somebody has got a mom and pop like that. I keep seeing two pictures on a wall, and they look like those old time. But there's a memory of them because I can see it. But anyway, and oh, Gina, I do have a numerology class coming up. I have a lot of people asking me for numerology. I just don't, and I do that online as well. I do teach numerology online because we have a setup like this, and I have a tablet that has a grid on it that I can actually write on it, and it pops up on the screen as well. So I will be I taught my last two classes of numerology online, and I will be teaching that again. I have a lot of requests for numerology. So I will be teaching that class again. That is it is a 3-day class. It's a 3-night class, but it's a 2-hour class, a 3-hour class, and a 4-hour class. So the first night's 2 hours, second night's 3 hours, and the last night is 4 hours. So I usually do like a 7 to 9, and then I do a 6 to 9, and then I do a 6 to 10. And it's, whew. See, you gonna take it, baby, again? A lot of people are asking me for numerology, so I will teach it again. Know that you have to buy the books. In fact, I think I got them. I actually got those right here too. I could show you those. You have to buy the books, and they're cheap because they're old books, but they're good. The books for numerology are, and these are not for you to read. These are reference books. So you're gonna read them, but they're for references. So I thought you took numerology with us one time, Zeta. This is The Complete Book of Numerology by David A. Phillips, PhD. I think this is about, let me see, 10. I guess I could put it like this so you can see it. But you have to get these books to take the course because you will be lost without them, because this is where all your meanings are. All the meanings are in these books. And then I give you a shorter version, but this is where the deep meanings are. And so when you're creating your charts in your books, you need these. And then this is Numerology, the Romance in Your Name. And this is by Juno Jordan. You can get these on Amazon. But they're old. They're old books, but they're wonderful. They're great references. So Gina, those are just angel numbers, but basically you total them is what they mean. So, but ones are beginnings, twos are about rhythm, timing, coupling, threes are creativity, healing, fours are truth, justice, grounding, fives are constant movement, constant change, sixes family, sevens the first spiritual number. It also means isolation, or also it's about isolation, can mean depression too on the negative side. Eight's power and money, and 9 is humanitarian in some ways, but it's also endings. And so it's just it's a lot, but it's Pythagorean's numerology. And there's also 11s is the first spiritual, the second spiritual number, which is the power of sight. 22 is the next spiritual number, which is if you can see, it's the master builder. If you see it, you can build it. 33 is the healer number, is the Christ vibe, and 44 is the God complex. Those are your spiritual numbers. So yes, I will be teaching numerology sometime. I just don't know when, guys. I'm working so much at the hospital, and then I'm working every weekend. I'm doing something spiritual. In fact, let's talk about that. So March 8th is the grief group. This year, this month, we're going to be talking a lot more about grief. I might even show the film, All That Jazz, because it's about the phases of death. It's about the stages of the stages of death. It's about the stages of grief. So I may be showing that, and having refreshments and food for everybody, and have a dining experience for everybody, and watching that, and then having a discussion about it, and going and like pausing the movie and talking about each phase. And then because that is I'm thinking about that. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do yet, but somebody brought that up to me today. That might be something to show at the grief group, because that movie is about the stages of grief. All That Jazz. It's about Bob Fosse's life, and so that movie is about the stages of. So it's about him dying in the hospital. And he's going through all the stages of grief, because he's on his deathbed. So we may just say the grief group is going to be March 8th, and then March 9th. And the grief group is $20, but you always get that back in food, door prizes. We always I use it to buy stuff for the group all the time, and actually I always spend more than I collect. Um, on Sunday, we're meeting at my house, and and we're going to teach a class on sensing and how to sense, and then we're taking everybody to a very old cemetery to sense, and it's free. That's another free class. So that's on Sunday the 9th. Misty Gaither and I are going to have people. Well, you should come to Grief Group. We have a lot of people that come to Grief Group. Few people, quite a few that are regulars. We have at least 4 that are regular. So, everybody's welcome to come. We can hold up to 20 in my house. Once it gets bigger than that, I got to go to the church. Right now, we have 4 or 5 that show up. Four. We have a core group of 4 that show up all the time. But then, depending on what the event is, other people show up too. So it just depends. But it's open to whoever wants to come. I do it once a month. It's on different days because I work so much. But it's always on a Saturday, but it's a different Saturday of the month. And I bring in different people. I don't know what activity I'm going to do this month. Last month we wrote Last month we went over all the stages of grief. We went over a bunch of things, and then about fear and stuff, and how to get rid of blocks and fear. And then we went over. We created Valentine cards for each other because we all told our story of grief, and then we created Valentines for each other, and then we created Valentines for our loved one on the other side, and we wrote about that person, and then we put them in. We created little bags like we did in school when we were kids. We took white bags and drew hearts on them and wrote our names on them and stuff. And then we delivered the Valentines to the right bags, and then we went home with those bags, and then we sat with wine or mimosas like I did. And then you opened up your cards and you read them, and you spent moments thinking about your loved one for Valentine's. So that was what we did at Grief Group last month. And then for Christmas, what we did, which was real, the Christmas was the fun one. We had clear ball ornaments, and then we created our own Christmas ornaments with our loved ones' pictures in them, and decorated them and hung them on our trees and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. So, like I said, we try to do something fun. One time we went to breakfast all together and sat around, and we talked. We just have different conversations. It depends who's with us. We have different conversations about grief, what we're doing with our lives, how we're moving forward. And it's just a group with people who are in different stages of grieving, and we're getting out. We're talking about how it's affected us, how we're able to get over it, and then it's just a place to come vent and talk. And sometimes we have mimosas, sometimes we have coffee, sometimes and we always have food. So it's a few hours on a Saturday to get out and have some fun and be with people who are going through something together. So, it's grief only. No, it's not only for adults. It's for anyone. But just it's if you want to bring someone young, that's fine. Only thing I would, there's really nothing bad that happens at Grief Group other than we don't go to bars. So yeah, sometimes we do have alcohol present, but we also have other stuff too. So it's like if you bring a child to a party, if there's adults that are going to drink, they might drink. If the child has other stuff, there's always Coke and Diet Coke and Sprites and juices and stuff. So yeah, you can bring a child. I don't see any problem with that. And we talk about our experiences of loss, and we understand that grief isn't just about dealing with human loss. It's also loss of limbs, there's also some videos on my YouTube channel about grief that we talked a lot. We had a couple of sessions about grief on the YouTube channel, so you can look those up too. Also, one more note. So we have the Grief Group on the 8th. 9th is the trip to the cemetery. We're going to do sensing. It's psychic investigation class is going to be getting together and doing. That's a free thing. Now we are going to be carpooling down. It's a ways. It's about a 40-minute drive from my house, maybe 45 minutes from my house that we're going to drive. So we will carpool for that, and we probably will go out and eat after, which you will need to bring if you come into the psychic investigation class, where we're going to teach you to sense, and we're going to take you to the cemetery. You will need pencil and paper and we will ask you if you want to bring any tools like a pendulum or some dowsing rods or any kind of paranormal equipment, you're welcome to do that. Because we're going to take you to the cemetery and we're going to have you sense it. And then we're going to have you write down what you feel or write down what you're picking up. Write it down. And then we're going to probably go to a restaurant, or if there are no children, you can bring children, but if there are no children by some reason, we may stop at a bar and do it there if y'all want. It's up to y'all. I'm open. Restaurant or bar. If wherever y'all want to go, we'll do. I'm open. It's supposed to be a fun event for whoever comes. If we have children, we won't be able to go to a bar. We can go to a restaurant and you can order a drink there. But whatever y'all want to do, we will do. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to go take that time and talk about what you experience. And then I'm going to know some history about that place. And they have graves there from the 1800s. So be prepared. A lot of history there. So anyway, let's do another lay. Also, forgetting the big one. On Saturday, March 29th at 2 p.m. in Chalmette at Agave Mexican restaurant, Trini Simmons and I will be doing Nacho Dead People. It's going to be a mediumship gallery with Trini and I. You can get your tickets on my website. We've already sold probably 25% of them already. So it's they're selling. So if you want to get this limited seating, so if you want to go see that, it is Saturday, March 29th at Agave. It's a fun event. We ask you to come. You got your tickets? Great. I ask you if you want to come, please be festive. Wear something colorful. Get in the mood because we're going to definitely dress colorful and have fun. And come have fun with us. It's a fun event. We will serve, the nachos will be free that we put on the tables. They will be free. The nachos and the dips will be free. They will offer, they will have a very limited menu. It'll be the choice. I think it's a chicken taco or a burrito, or the two things that they'll have that you can order if you want extra food. And cocktails or drinks. You got to purchase those, but the nachos are on us. We buy all the nachos. Tickets are $50, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So dress up, have fun, laugh with us, come out and have a good time, because we're going to connect to your loved ones in spirit. And the last one we did was at we sold it out, and it was a lot of fun. It was at Don Jose's here in Kenner, and we didn't even have standard. It was so crowded in that place. It was packed, and we had a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. It's going to be Saturday, March 29th. It's a Saturday at 2 p.m. and we should be out of there by 4:30. We should be done, because it usually will come in at 2. We'll start at 2:30 and probably go to 4. 2:30, probably go to 4. So it'll probably end at around 4 o'clock. Okay. And well, I'm gonna bring music. We're gonna have Mexican music playing. If y'all want, if you go to if you watch me, if y'all follow me here on Facebook, I mean, we keep posting the one from Don Jose with the Mexican music, and me, and y'all see me in the gold shirt, and you'll see Trini and her little thing, and it's a lot of fun. So if y'all free and y'all want to get down to Chalmette, we finish early enough so you'll be able to, still have a lot of your day left, So come out and have margaritas, some nachos. If you want to order from the kitchen, but just come out and have some fun. That's the main thing. Come out and have some fun. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm going to break the last reading, right? I'm going to turn 180. Right. Then I'm going to flip these over. 1, 2, 3. So I think that I am going to be going to court over some child support. That's what this looks like. We're going to talk about that. Probably going to talk about that. But we will see. We will see. I'm going to mix these up. have the person shuffle and put them down just like that. Have them shuffle. Of course, they're not going to listen to me. They're going to hand them to me like that. And I'm going to go, really? Turn them one way or the other. I do tell them that. Turn them one way or the other. So we're going to turn them, then we're going to flip. Now I'm going to do my lay. Instead of the 1 card lay, I'm going to do the 3 card lay. So you do 1, you make a little cross in the middle. And this is called the Celtic cross. And then you go around. And then I come over here and I go 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go all the way around again. So y'all getting ahead of the game. If y'all watching tonight and y'all come back tomorrow, y'all will be ahead of the game. But I'm going to show some different lays tomorrow night. I'm going to show this one only once, but then I'm going to show some others. Because in the book that I showed you, that's probably over 100 and something lays. It's a bunch. I'm not going to do all 100. I'll just pick a couple. I use this one. Okay, so I always turn one up here. It brings me into the next thing. But anyway, looking at this. So what I'm looking at, first thing I'm going to look at is the center card that I'm going to start branching out. So when I look, and this is, so what I'm looking at here, this is the past. This is recent. This is near future. This is the sitter. This is more futuristic, more futuristic, more futuristic, leads me into the next read, into the next set. So I'm looking at all of this, and I'm going to go into the recent past and what this looks like to me by judging this. So I already feel that I'm talking about contracts and money. So I'm talking about 401ks. I'm talking about inheritance. I'm going to talk about inheritance. I already know this looking at this because I got this lady right here. This lady right here, this Nana. See how she's got money growing? That's old money. So that's inheritance. That's 401ks. That's stuff like that. But with the Queen of Swords crossing it, that means that there's some kind of legal something here. There's a contract involved here. There's a lawyer involved here. There's something going on. But there's some unfinished business. I'm looking into the past here. There's unfinished business here. Because this guy here is walking away from these cups that are all lined up perfectly. See how those cups are lined up perfectly? He's walking away from those cups. So something's not completed. And this guy is responsible for that. And things aren't going to line up right unless he gets this settled. Something's happening. Somebody's coming to the rescue. And look at all these swords. There's somebody challenging this. And what I think is happening here when I look at this is somebody's partner died and looks like they're trying to remarry, and the kids, see this little kid right here? I think the kids are wanting him to get things legal because they don't want to get gypped out of inheritance because this sucker's getting remarried again. This person's getting married, so they're worried about their inheritance. Look, you got marriage here. And all of this is you see where I'm getting it? It's telling me a story. So I'm going to start talking about that. Now, if I don't feel this is my sitter, I can change the story at any moment. It depends who my sitter is. Now, if my sitter is somebody who is like 20 years old and I know this isn't them, then I'm looking at, well, you might be coming into it, but somebody's trying to take it from you. So you see, it's not just what the cards say, it's also the vibe that I'm getting from the sitter. See what I'm saying? It can all change by who's sitting across from me. But I'm looking at the same cards. So that's why I tell people, don't just be reading out of the book because you don't know. You got to pull what you're feeling from the person sitting across from you and blend it with the cards. Because suppose I got some 20-year-old female sitting, well, I know she's not probably getting married for the second time, especially if somebody didn't die that she married, unless it was an overdose, which is possible. But I don't think they were a multimillionaire at that age. It's possible. But not to dress the way she is if I'm using my common sense. I could be wrong. She could be doing it to fool me. I shouldn't judge. But unless I'm getting that feel, you know what I'm saying? I'd have to get that feel. You know what I mean? I'd have to get that feel from the person. So depending with the feel you're getting from the person sitting there can change the story of the cards. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. Y'all understand that? That's the point I'm trying to make to you. So right now, what I'm feeling is that this person is remarrying because I got two relationship cards. The marriage and relations on both sides. The Pope is blessing it, saying it needs that because that's the Pope. Even though he's upside down, that's something. It's the second marriage. Okay. Now there's a kid here, and then there's the queen there, and there's something going on here, and this is old money getting involved. There's things that have to be done, and it's a smart thing that they do, and it's because of the marriage. So what that's telling me is something's being done about this money, and it's important. So that's where I'm going to go there. Now, looking in the home plate here, I kind of think what's going on is I think the gentleman passed away, so it's probably a female sitting across from me for sure. I think it's so it could be, if it's a young person, it's going to be her father. If it's an older it's an older person, it's going to be her mate, because that is the emperor, is that mate or the dad or the father figure in the cards. And this is her trying to be knowledgeable, even though she's depressed and sad about the passing, but they are remarrying because they want that. They don't want to be alone. They want security. So I get that. But I do think they're marrying for security this time and not love, because when I look up here at the lovers is upside down. So it doesn't mean that they don't love the person. It just means that this is not the reason they're married, because they're looking for financial security. They're looking for security. There's money on both sides, success. They are there. I think they're looking for security. Okay? And because I think that they're also trying to change their career, but they're not sure where they want to go. And if they're not working anymore, if they're at an age where they're not working, I'm going to say they're trying to retire. Because I got all these wand cards up here. When we get to wands so much, you're going to learn that wands are mostly about careers, or where am I taking things now, or what am I doing with my life at this point. That's what wands are all about. So that's the story I'm going to say. But what boils down to the final result is I want security, because this was my final card. And she's the queen of coins. So she is the queen of security. She's the queen of watching my money grow. So I got to legally take care of everything, get things lined up. So now I can plan on watching my money grow. And that's where I would take my reading. You see how I didn't go focus on each card and give you a meaning for each card? I looked at the cards in a whole. I let the cards tell me a story. I didn't say this card meant that, this card meant that. I know what every one of these cards mean, but I let it produce a life story to me. And that's the part that most tarot readers fail on. And that's why I'm teaching this class. And that's why that is what I will teach in Intuitive Tarot. So I want people to be able to get the story, to get the whole story. I did not go card by card. I looked at the bulk of the story and the flow of life and how it fits into life, and let it flow and tell me the story. By feeling my sitter, by knowing, getting an idea and feeling the energy of my sitter, their age, the feel I'm getting for them, what's going on, and then telling the story. I didn't read every card. I didn't say this. That's why when people tell me, well, this card means that, I don't do that. I know what they all mean. I can go to every one of these cards and tell you what every one of them means. But I just blended it together to tell you a story. And that's how you read tarot, my friends. That is how you tell. It's like, and my friend Mary here can understand this. It's like when you read a bunch of labs, I can tell you whatever the number is, but so what? What is it doing to the body? I could show you a bunch of labs, and you might know what all this number means. That number, it's out of range. That's this, that's that. But if you put them all together, what does it mean? That's a good way to look. If you're a nurse, you'd understand that. What is it doing to the body? Is it causing you being unable to breathe? Is it causing you to be low in your blood count? What is it really causing? Is it causing you kidney damage? Is it causing you, what is those labs causing you to do? So that is That is the best way to explain tarot to you. And that's where a lot of tarot readers mess up. They want to read the meaning of each card versus what is the story of the sitter. What are you trying to tell the sitter? What is the story? And folks, I can't tell you any better than that. So I hope everybody can see that, because that's where I want to get you guys with this. I hope my friend Daphne was watching tonight, because she's been trying to learn this and she's still trying to read every card. But I'm going to get it past that. I will be on tomorrow night. Mary, please text her and tell her behind she better be on tomorrow night. Right, Mary, the collective message. And tell her she better be on tomorrow night, because I'm going to be going over this again in more detail tomorrow night. And along with we're going to finish up the wands. The wands is the last suit we have to go over. And then I'm going to go over some two or three different lays. And I'm going to go over explaining all that while I'm doing that again. So again, you guys, it's getting late. I have work very early in the morning. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this evening. I always enjoy talking to you guys. I love you all. You all have a good night. And come join me at Nacho Dead People at Agave. And if you can come out to Orlando and join us at Touching Eternity this year, do so, because it's going to be a good one. Because I am teaching a course that y'all are going to just hit the floor on. But anyway, love you guys. See y'all later.